coming to an end. I don't know what to do. I got you. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I haven't had a sit down video in so long, so I'm quite excited because I actually do enjoy them as well. But if you've been wondering, like, what have I been getting up to, just like watch some of my vlogs. That's just some of it, but definitely I've missed actually having conversations with everybody. So welcome back to Kawa's channel, the home for conversations. And so today in conversation, what we have, before we get into what's in our conversation for today, are you here for the first time? Have you not subscribed? Please press that subscribe button. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Absolutely love new subbies. And I mean, please do share this video if you find it useful, and also do like and comment. All right. This topic, what's on today's agenda? So today we are really going to be talking about leasing. So at this point in my life, I am leasing. My lease agreement is coming to an end, and so I'm sitting with this question because I mean the agent calls you to say, hey sis, by the way, I can't believe I've been in Joburg for this long. Oh, the ghetto. But so my agent calls me and he asks me, oh hey Miguel, are you going to be renewing your lease, right? Because we need to know if we should put it back up in the market, although we would absolutely love you to take up the lease. Of course you'd love me to take up the lease again. But so he told me the new rental amount. Let me actually do the calculation. It's an 8.6% increase on my rental, right? And I was like, wow, that's disrespectful. We are guys. Firstly, I want us to talk about what the lease agreement is. So one thing we tend to forget is that a lease agreement is beneficial to both parties. We always assume that because I'm the tenant that the lease agreement only benefits me, right? Because I have a place to stay, I like this place or I don't like this place, I have water, I'm paying this price. But we actually forget that the lease agreement also benefits the leaser. So that would either be your agent from a commission perspective, but it also benefits the owner, the property owner, right? So with an 8.5, which is basically a 9% increase in the rental, I was kind of like, because what's happening in the market? Like, I think that's the worst thing you could come with, because he then ended the call with saying, but if you want us to talk to the landlord or you want us to talk to the property owner for a better price, then we can talk to the property owner. So for me, I know that a lot of people aren't given that little disclaimer at the end, and I knew that he was playing it safe because he didn't know whether I would be on the grounds to negotiate. So I didn't negotiate, and I have every ground to negotiate. I'll tell you the decision I made at the end, right? And why. So the thing is, right, when we look at the economy and where we are in terms of the recession, right, why it was so important for me to mention that the leaser has an advantage, or they have something, or they get something out of this agreement with you, is that there's some sort of surety of income that you give them. That means that they don't have to either take it out of their pocket, or it's less that they have to contribute to their bond repayment, or income. I want us to talk about the property owner and the risk that the property owner has. So the risk that a property owner would have would be a vacancy, right? So if there is nobody in the flat, it means that they still have to either repay that bond repayment, or it means that there's less cash flow that they have, right, for that specific month. So Kingogo City, these property owners have risk associated, but there has been, between me coming into the property last year, where we had the looming risk of recession, right? That was the context. In a recession, what happens is that, number one, people lose jobs, right? So the moment that employment starts to come down, the property market as a whole experiences some element of stress. From a property perspective, you'll see that some more people are selling off their houses because they've been retrenched, because they've been given packages, because they feel like they need to downsize because of the economic pressure. And also, over and above that, what we see is some people exit the rental market into the buying market because of the decline in the property prices. Although we haven't seen the property prices decline as much, we've seen a bit of resilience. Like when I went jogging, I saw a lot more people are selling than usual. I look outside my window, there's a few vacancies that I've never seen since I've moved in here in the past year. And so that's the case. So it's either people are downsizing, so they're going to smaller apartments or smaller spaces. Partners or families are moving in together to save the cost. Like the demand has come down, right, for rental property, or it is coming down for rental property, and that's why we're seeing vacancies, right? We have more supply, so we have these properties that you can't just put away in your pocket and bring it out again when people are actually ready to like move into places, and it's just that's the impact of a recession, right? People sort of have an understanding of whether their salaries are increasing, decreasing, loss in income, and another thing we've seen is that inflation is we're not meeting the inflationary targets, so we wouldn't even be able to justify a 4.5% increase in rentals. And what that essentially does is, if your salary, let's say, is increasing by 1%, right? Hypothetical. Your salary for the next year is increasing by 1%. Your rental is increasing by 8.5%. Ask yourself the question, like, where is the rest coming from? Where's that 7.5% coming from? It's coming from your pocket. It means that it's coming from your disposable income that you would have spent on other things or put into your savings or whatever. It's coming from that. So if your salary is not increasing at an 8.5, right, of which, I mean, please, really, we're in recession. You increase it by 8.5. The biggest things that are important with negotiation is that you have as much information as the person you're negotiating with, if not more. Because the issue and the key word for today is information asymmetry. Information asymmetry makes you pay a lot, right? Because for as long as somebody else has information that you don't have, they'll use it to negotiate and the price will favor them. So I think for me, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is for people to understand what is happening in the property market. What does what's happening in the economy actually mean? If possible, and you need to renew your rental, your lease agreement, try look even at the termination clauses, etc., because nobody is like, oh, I will never get retrenched, because like anybody can get retrenched, anybody can lose a job, but also ensure that those clauses are also in your favor, right? If it's either you decrease the duration of the lease, or you negotiate around the clauses around termination, let's say it's loss of income, etc. Like, you just need to look at those things. If your agent or whoever is leasing to you is cognizant and thinking about you, they won't optimize on the situation. They will play with open cards, and therefore you can give someone your money freely. But if you see that somebody, like abantu are conning, right? Because they know on some rentals they won't get an increase. So where they see that, possibly, I can play this girl or this boy or this peasant because they don't know what's happening, they're gonna con you to make up whatever loss they'll be making elsewhere. So just make sure that you're not the one being conned. And number two, like, if you have the energy to negotiate, then you must negotiate. I just don't like to negotiate everything in my life. Like, so sometimes I'm just like, because if your idea was for this to be mutually beneficial, you would have, like, guys, I think even if you gave me a 6% or a 5% increase, I would have been like, let's negotiate. But the mere fact that you pegged it at an 8.5, you're assuming that the very worst that I could do, right, is for me to negotiate 50% down from what you're saying. So that puts you at about a 4.25%, right, increase on my rental. That's like when they're halving whatever it is, 4.25%. So it's definitely something to watch out for when you are either negotiating or deciding should you move to a new place. I hope you found this a bit useful. From my side, I didn't negotiate. I'm just like juices, because I'm seeing some properties are coming down. Yes, there will be a moving cost, and those are calculations that I've done for myself. Am I willing to pay that? Am I willing to lose this? Am I willing to lose that? And like for me, having a bigger space is important at this point because of something I want to do. So it's those considerations, but over and above that, it's just that consideration of uyandibona na, do you see me? And I'm not saying that negotiations need to be aggressive, need to be it's just sometimes it's either you don't negotiate, you rather find something else in the market that makes more sense, or you negotiate nicely or whatever. But always be cognizant of, once a scammer, always a scammer. You're trying to con me. I'm joking. But always, just when you're making that decision, you can, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with deciding you don't mind that increase, even if it's that amount. Because you're comfortable where you live, you don't want to move, that's fair. But wait, one more thing. Don't forget that you'll be locked in this for the next 12 months. So now, at this point in time, you might not see the downward pressure in property prices, but it will still come down. So in your 12 months, just know that it will come down. Another thing, man, guys, we have seen cuts in repo. They're not going to increase them as aggressively. So it means in any case, if you were like funding or contributing to a bond, it means that the individual may possibly, if they decided to, like, they're fine with a decrease, they may be paying less for their bond, right? And that's giving them relief. And why are they not passing on the relief to us as the tenants? Is it because asnazindlu, guys? But anyway, this is not in a fight with property owners. I just think as a tenant, it's definitely something to consider, and I hope that you found this useful. All the best for your negotiations if you are negotiating, and yeah, stay safe. Even if it is level 2, stay safe, stay sanitized, stay protected, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.